Hey guys, welcome to the next level. It's been a little bit since we did a group video about this, but I think you all expected this one. With me today is my buddy Prower and Anthony's Animation Talk. You guys want to say hi?
No.
Yeah.
No, I really don't.
Yeah, okay. Alright.
I'll say hello, and I'll say konnichiwa, but I'll never say hi.
I will...
You just did.
I will give a disclaimer right now, guys. This video will have spoilers in it, so if you have not seen the movie already and you care about spoilers, we are going to give you guys our review, like, out of 10, and then we will continue on. So, anyways, my score of the film, 8 out of 10. I think it's really good. It's the best video game movie ever made, but I did have my problems with it, and we'll go into that in a bit here. Let's go Prower. As a Sonic fan, whose favorite video game of all time is Sonic the Hedgehog 2, what did you think out of 10?
8.5.
Okay.
I really liked it in general. There were some things where I was like, that's stupid. But I think everything that was stupid, even though it was like not fitting at all, was still fun in its own way. It wasn't like it was stupid and boring.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
So I definitely better than the first movie. I'd say 8.5. Not perfect, but still really damn good to me.
Okay, and we kind of have the complete opposite of the spectrum here. With me and Prower obviously being huge Sonic nerds. Anthony is a fan of the Hedgehog, but he has never completed one of the games, so he's much more of a casual fan. And he went into this more as a movie instead of being a Sonic fan. Instead of it being a Sonic movie, it was more about a review of a movie. So I'd be interested to hear your score.
Yeah, it's a 7 out of 10. I thought it was a solid movie, enjoyable. I will say my kids enjoyed it too. This is important. My son, he's 7. My daughter, she's 8. So they loved it. They thought it was really good. I had some major issues, which I'll discuss later, in terms of the flow of the movie. That was a huge problem for me. But whenever Sonic was on screen, it was fun.
Yeah. And
despite my problems, 7 out of 10, I enjoyed it as a casual fan. Do I think it's better than the first one? Honestly, it's about on par for me, anyway, as a casual fan. I know you guys say you enjoyed the second one more, and that's fair enough. But me, it's about on par in terms of movie quality.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. We'll go into that in a minute here, but yeah, so that is the spoiler-free section. Now, everything after this is going to have spoilers, so that's your last warning, so you can't get mad at me now. Alright. So, why don't we start with the positives before we go into the more negative stuff, because I think we each have a different problem with this movie, and I will be interested in that, but why don't we talk about the good things? Like, for instance, I really liked how they portrayed Knuckles. I think this is my favorite interpretation of Knuckles I've ever seen. And I am really impressed because normally Knuckles has always been kind of this doofy, annoying character to me. Like in Sonic 3, when he was introduced, he was always meant to be your antagonist. He was the person you were fighting against, and he was just kind of this cocky character who just beat you in every step. So he, to me, was always like this frustrating older brother type character to me, and that may sound ridiculous, but I never really got into playing as him either, so I've never really been a big Knuckles fan, but this movie really made me more interested in him. They did a really good job with Knuckles.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I found, I really liked how they portrayed him. He started off being more Sonic 3 Knuckles, but he's always, like, kind of stupid, but at the same time, just, like, really tough stupid, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stupid in the sense, like, he knew what he was doing, and actually, shout out to my buddy Marty, who pointed this out. Near the end of the movie, like, when they were playing, like, baseball, Knuckles was totally acting like Boom Knuckles at that point, more of a joking idiot, you know what I mean? Where earlier on, he was being trying to act more smart and stuck up, and I really like how he was trying to act smart and stuck up, you know, like kind of how he punched quote-unquote evil Sonic hologram or whatever inside the Mean Bean, you know, just kind of like that type of stuff where he's being stupid but he feels like he's being smart about it. Where at the end of the movie, he's just being stupid, knows he's being stupid, and is just having fun with it. So he went from trying to be more mature to just being himself and being more of Sonic Boom Knuckles near the end. And I really think the writing on Knuckles is nearly perfect. I don't think anything about that really could have been changed.
Okay, yeah. Anthony, do you have any extra thoughts on that, or is that basically...
The thing with Knuckles is, for me anyway, and again, I have no idea what the character's supposed to be in the games. I've never actually played the third, well, whatever, Sonic Knuckles and any of those games, so I have no idea what the character's supposed to be from the games. But he reminds me of Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy films, which I know, Blue, I know you don't really watch the Marvel stuff, and, you know, me, it's the McDonald's of cinema, you know, sometimes you just want just some garbage to to eat. Even though some of them are actually pretty well made, other ones are just okay. I watched it. I'll probably never watch it again. But he's basically Drax, who's basically this big tough character, but he's completely like a fish out of water, and you know, misunderstands all the situations he's in. The thing is, and I don't want to get into negatives or anything at the moment because you know we're not up to that part. It's Idris Elba's delivery was really weird, but I'll get into that later on. I just thought it was just, I don't know, something about it.
No,
but was he bad? Like, was the character bad? No, I thought it was entertaining in terms of the dynamic, but it definitely reminded me of Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy. It's as though the writers were like fans of the character and decided to put that inside their version of Knuckles for the movie.
Okay. It's interesting you say that. Again, yeah, we'll get into negatives in a bit here, but I really did like Elba's performance in this movie. Like, I think he's probably the best voice for the character. And that's coming from a guy who heard Dan Green for a good chunk of his childhood. And if you guys don't know, Dan Green was the voice of Yugi in Yu-Gi-Oh! So...
I met Dan. He's a very nice guy.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he is. He seems like that. Yeah, Prower, what did you think of Elba's performance as Knuckles?
Do I need your power?
Yeah, no, I really like that scene. Any scene with Sonic and Knuckles fighting was a lot of my favorites of the movie. There's some great fight scenes in this film that I felt was really lacking in movie 1. Because there wasn't a whole lot of action in movie 1 until the very end. So I was really happy to see that they got a little bit more action scenes in here. Like, especially the snowboarding sequence, or the sequence later on when, right before, you know, Eggman Robotnik shows his true colors to Knuckles. Those are some of my favorite scenes in the movie.
For sure. I found the first movie was more of a buddy movie, like first SpongeBob movie type of, you know, a buddy movie. Where there's like a few events that happen, but even the first Sonic movie, they were really minimal. It was more on just Sonic and James Marsden, or Donut Lord, where this one, I like how it focuses way more on Sonic and Knuckles and the fighting. Like, there was just way more action scenes, so yeah. Definitely better in that sense. 100%.
Yeah, I agree there.
Yeah, pretty intense. It's quite clear. And I suspect the first movie was more like, let's give them some money for this cute little video game thing. Hopefully we'll make a few bucks and call it a day. I mean, given the first design of the Sonic character, I think that's pretty much what it was. But here, it's like, the first one was a success. It actually was a good movie. All right, let's throw more money at it. And it shows. And all the action scenes, perfect. All right. Yeah, the odd CGI wonkiness here and there, but again, I watch the Marvel stuff, and that happens all the time, so I'm like, yeah, whatever, you know, you can push that aside in a film like this. But, you know, I got a kick out of the big Robotnik robot, and, you know, and stuff like that. No, the fights were really good.
I was a little worried that they weren't going to actually do Supersonic in this movie. I wanted some stuff from Sonic 2. I will go into one of my negatives later, but I really wanted them to do some tribute to Sonic 2, the game, because that was like a big factor. Supersonic was introduced in Sonic 2, along with Tails. So I was really happy at the very end. It was a little weird to me that in this film, the Chaos Emeralds form the Master Emerald. Like, it feels like that distinction wasn't really necessary at this point, because, I mean, couldn't Sonic just turn Super with the Master Emerald? Like, what was the point of shattering it to make it the Chaos Emeralds again, to have the same, I don't know. That seemed a little weird to me. That is another pro. Jim Carrey was great in this movie. He definitely felt like he was trying a little bit more with this one, I think, compared to Sonic Movie 1. So
Yeah, I don't know. I've always liked Jim Carrey, and I mean, putting aside the fact he's in one of my favorite movies of all time, which is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, so the guy can definitely act, and not just be, you know, a buffoon. But here, yeah, I mean, even in the first film, I quite just enjoyed his presence in this film, even though he's not, you know, this fat, egg-like character like in the cartoons and that. But no, he was great. Definitely one of the big positives.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I have to agree. I kind of felt in the first Sonic movie, Jim Carrey was kind of just half-assing it as like another, you know, like, oh, this will just be a fun little thing. I haven't been in filmography for a little bit. Like, it'll just be a little quick one. I found that with James Marsden too. He was kind of just like shitting around with it because he did the same thing with like Hop, right? But I think after the first movie kind of blew up and everyone is realizing like Jim Carrey as Robotnik is actually cool as shit, Jim Carrey really started to go off. I was surprised with this movie how seriously involved he was. Like, he was almost more of a main character than Sonic when it came to certain points. Like, how much screen time Jim Carrey had, I was kind of stunned. It's like 3 times the amount he had in the first movie. He really goes off here. So, huge plus for me, because I really like Ace Ventura.
Yep.
Yeah.
And this will, I guess, give away my age. I was the perfect age for when Ace Ventura came out, you know, way back in 1994, so I was about 9 years old or so. Yeah, alright, some of the jokes in there were a bit more adult, but it was still a funny film. And yeah, I've been following his career sort of ever since it was that, and of course The Mask as well. That came out around that time too.
Okay, I liked that if they're gonna use the side characters, like the Pretzel Lady's, what is it, sister or whoever, if they're gonna use side characters like that, I think they did it in the right way. Now, I really don't like how involved they made that, but I think if they're going to do something like that, they did it the right way, I guess.
Alright, so
I don't
actually,
know. I also like Sonic and Tails' bonding, at least.
Sonic and Tails did have some cute moments together. That is one of my cons, though. I will talk about that later. But I think we better just get the human characters out of the way right now. Okay, so Anthony, I'm pretty sure that if I was reading you right, your big negative was probably with the beach subplot, or the wedding subplot. Am I...
You are correct.
As well.
You are correct, but it actually is even more than that. It's the entire human element of the film, except for, of course, Robotnik, and I'll tell you why. Alright, so in the first Sonic movie, of course, you've got, it was like a buddy film, as you mentioned, Prower, which is correct. It was basically a buddy film. You had Tom and Tom Wachowski, I think the character's name was, and Sonic. See, that's how memorable that is, you know, Wachowski, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, Wachowski, I know, is the other Matrix directors, you know. Anyway, so they had their little journey, and of course, he had his, you know, partner, Maddie, wherever she was there, and of course her sister Rachel, whoever she was. I'm trying to remember their names.
You actually remember them better than I did. I just want to say that I thought Rachel was hilarious in the first movie, and that's kind of where I disagree a little bit. I really think that a lot of people probably didn't like Rachel as much as I did, but I really liked what they did with her in the movie too. But we'll get into that.
It's actually not her fault what I'm about to say at all. I think she's very talented. I think all these actors are talented. But in the first film, they have a journey. They have their beginning problems, and they have a solution at the end, and it's all resolved. The problem with this film, for some reason, they bring these human characters back, but their journeys are already done. There's really nothing for them to do. In fact, it seemed like in the beginning they just wanted to get rid of them, you know, to the beach, and that would have been sort of okay if they maybe had a cameo in the beginning, then Sonic does the big adventure, and then maybe in the end they sort of show up or something, because you don't need them anymore. You really don't. It's the same problem I have with Frozen 2, just to give another example. They had all these characters that they brought back, but their journeys are already done. You don't need anything further. And, you know, and to top it all off, the wedding subplot has. I've seen lots of films. I've seen literally hundreds of films. That has got to be one of the worst written subplots I've ever seen in a movie. And I'm not kidding. It is so dumb. I mean, I guess it could be funny dumb, where, like, why would they do this entire wedding just to catch Sonic? I mean, like, it's absolutely ridiculous. But it actually doesn't even appear afterwards. As soon as the wedding part's done, it's forgotten. Like, they don't even bring it up again. Like, you could cut that entire thing out, and with a little bit of a rewrite here and there, the movie would be more leaner. You'd be focusing on the better parts of the film. Because even my kids got bored of that wedding subplot, especially when they were infiltrating that building, whatever. You didn't need any of that, you know. But how this film would have been better was a focus on Sonic. You know, his new journey in this film is, you know, he wants to do right, he wants to be a hero and that, and then of course Robotnik still had a journey because he had to escape the Mushroom Planet, you know, and he does with the help of Knuckles. So there's that journey, and of course Knuckles has a journey to get. And I know you're gonna have a journey counter there at Blue when you edit this. I'm well aware of that. I know you're gonna do that. You know, Knuckles of course is looking for the emeralds. Tails, of course. You know, Tails' journey is to find Sonic to warn him. You know, that's that journey too. So they're all in one place in the beginning. They're all in a different place at the end. But Tom, Maddie, Rachel, and I forgot the little girl's name. Nothing. Like there was no reason for them to really be in here. That's my
yeah. No,
Okay,
I
agree. No, I agree what you're saying, but I like the way it was written. They didn't need to be there, but I would have preferred them there anyway. I'm glad they were still there because I still feel like they're important characters of the story, nonetheless. At least Tom, you know what I mean? So, did they need to be there the way the story was written and everything, with how it was focused? Literally not at all. But I'm so glad they had some involvement. Now, the wedding shit, I could go the other way with. I don't really care. Like, my friends I saw the movie with really liked it for some reason. They were all like laughing their asses off, and I was kind of not feeling it during that. I'm like, yeah, she stole a golf cart. You know, I mean, I'm not shitting on the whole segment. Like, it could have been like worse. I was just saying, I'm like, why is this in a Sonic movie? This has no relevance.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was my whole thing.
And for me, anyway, it was boring. And I did notice in the cinema I was at, it was a packed cinema too. The kids, well, not necessarily mine, but I've seen other kids around, and it's sort of, you know, you could hear someone sort of fidgeting and just being absolutely bored of those sequences. But then, whenever Sonic was on and you had the big, really awesome scenes, yeah, everyone was, you know, quiet and watching. So I think they made a big mistake with this. As I said, nothing wrong with the Tom character. He was fine in the first one, but just have him do like a cameo in the beginning, get him sort of out of the way, and have Sonic focus on his own journey in, you know, like he's maybe, you know, he's got the house to himself. I thought that was pretty cool. That's another positive right there. That beginning part where he just does what I guess a lot of younger kids would do if they were left home alone, if they were able to clean things up so quickly, you know. And then, you know, then you can have the story happen. But yeah, I think that's what stuffed it up for me, I thought.
I'm gonna disagree with some portions of that. I do think that it was way overdone. Like there was too much of it. But I feel like they could have cut down on a bit of it and it would have worked like a lot better. Like, I'm gonna be completely honest. I was being stupid and I completely missed the idea that one of Sonic's warp rings would actually be swapped with the wedding ring. Like, I completely missed that in my head.
Dude, I predicted that right as it happened.
Yeah,
I looked over at my buddy Marty and told him he just swapped the ring, and he's like, "Yeah, 100%."
I feel
like,
so stupid. I feel so stupid because I'm apparently the one person in the world that didn't realize that. And you know, I really liked Rachel and Tom's relationship in the first movie. How she just absolutely hated him, and she was a little over the top. I really liked that because it was some comic foil. And, you know, I really think that if they played that up with this one, where he was trying to get on Rachel's good side now, and then, you know, like, all these things happen at the wedding, and it ruined, like, it's making it worse. That would have been really funny, and I do think they missed the mark on that. Like, the entire volleyball scene, like, that was not necessary whatsoever. Like, that...
Why were the YouTubers there? I'm sorry, but the YouTubers there at the volleyball bit, there was like Minecraft YouTubers I grew up with as a little kid standing there. I don't know what the fuck that was about.
I didn't even notice.
No, there's like, okay, you know those like white guys who were standing behind him after it was getting, like, after Tom got pelted with volleyballs?
Those were YouTubers?
There was like, yeah, they were like YouTubers. Like, there was like Preston Plays was standing there. I'm like, why the hell are you here? I watched you when I was 7.
Oh, okay, well, I didn't even know that. Alright. That's a weird cameo. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. It was just weird.
Well,
it was really weird to me.
What? Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know who they were. Well,
yeah, no, I didn't realize that they were anything other than just a visual joke. Like, he was, I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So I thought that scene was unnecessary. I'm not gonna lie, I did enjoy the scene of Rachel going psycho with the golf cart. I did enjoy that. Like, really, I just wanted the scenes with Tom basically having to screw the entire wedding up, and then to get Sonic out of the avalanche. I liked that scene, and I really liked the idea of it just being Operation Catfish. I don't know, like maybe I'm like, I enjoyed that. That's my whole thing. And
by the time she came in the golf cart, I was already over that entire thing. I'm thinking this part of the film is going on way too long.
No,
infiltration and so on.
I do agree it should have been cut down, but I think that, you know, because the movie was, I think, 2 hours and 20 minutes. I think about that.
2 hours and 2 minutes.
2 hours and 2 minutes.
Oh, okay. So yeah, they could have cut that bit down, and then it would have worked, I think, a lot better if it was just random scenes in between the action. I think it would have worked. But yeah, I feel kind of dumb that I was like the one person in the world that didn't realize the wedding ring connection, and I was kind of excited when I caught on, like, oh no, he's gonna have to.
Hang your head in shame, Blue. Hang your head in shame.
No, I
turn
feel
in
really
turn in your movie badge, and your Sonic badge, and your ring badge.
Fake fan.
Well, my least favorite scene is not that, but I do want to go into a bit more of the positives. So, Prower, did you have anything else you wanted to add, or should we go to Anthony?
Yeah, no, that's about it. I agree. I thought the golf cart bit was a little too long, and I didn't understand the hype.
Well,
though
okay,
everyone else around me did, so I felt kind of stupid.
I do want to add that I thought the golf cart scene was good, but then they didn't really need to reconcile their differences. Like, he didn't have to realize, oh, I'm actually in love with you. Like, I kind of wanted her to just punch him, and that would have been it. So that was like, that was overdone.
That has no relevance to the Sonic movie. It was just there, and it's not going to have any relevance in the next one either. So
yeah,
exactly.
Well, I don't agree with that, but we'll talk about that when we talk about the post-credit scene.
Of course. Another positive. Agent Stone, you know, the guy that works with Robotnik.
I mean, Agent Stone was great.
Yeah, see him. Look, even he had another one for you count. He had a journey. He missed his boss. He has a very loving. You know, he just is obsessed with obviously Robotnik, which I thought was hilarious. But even he had that little journey too. That's why he worked as well, because he misses his boss.
Okay, I disagree with that with one thing, Anthony. I forgot to bring this up when I was going on my thing about me being stupid. I do think Tom goes through a little bit of a journey in this film, and that's becoming a father figure to Sonic. That is discussed in the beginning, where he's having to scold Sonic for basically going out and trying to be a superhero, which I thought that was a fun scene too. That's another positive. Sonic basically trying to stop a heist. And failing.
Even though he could have taken that entire vehicle apart straight away. I don't know why he waited till the last minute, but yeah.
Oh,
you just go with it.
Yeah, it's, you know, he's a kid. He's still like immature kid. He probably didn't even think of that. Like I can buy that.
Yeah, I just shrug off. You're like, oh, why didn't you do that in the first place? But it's like, whatever. You just move on.
Yeah, so I do think that, he's like, oh, I gotta, like, act like a parent, and in the very end, he's like, he calls him dad, and it's a sweet moment. I want to just add that real quick, that I do think there's a bit of growth there.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like it.
It's barely acknowledged. That's how I felt in the whole thing.
No,
it felt as though the filmmakers really wanted to just do the Sonic parts, and they had to shoehorn the rest in. Like, I know that's perhaps not what they would have written or anything. I'm not saying that is the case, but that's how it felt when watching this movie. That the Wachowskis were just shoehorned, and the sister was all shoehorned into the thing. A lot of shoehorning. There's a shoehorn counter. You can use that now.
I think she was kind of an unexpected hit character from the first movie. Like, they didn't expect the sister-in-law character to, like, really go anywhere, but people that weren't Sonic fans, like, I've seen it with my family, like, they really enjoyed her, so I think they brought her back for that same reason. Probably gave her more to do. But I do think that, I think we're going to end the conversation about the wedding scenes, like, here, but I do think that, 20 minutes cut off of that, like, the volleyball crap and a little bit at the end, I think it would have worked a lot better. I think it could have worked into the plot, but it just needed to be changed ever so slightly. And I do like how they sync up by, like, Sonic, like, crashing through the wedding with just an avalanche. Like, that was pretty funny to me, but...
True.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is that those scenes weren't designated towards us, so...
But also they could have another way they could have removed the wedding entirely is that you could have had, Sonic was supposed to look after the house, and then maybe have him off into an adventure. Then you have Tom and Maddie return home, and then Sonic's in trouble, and then he activates the ring, and then you have Snow maybe going into the house. So that makes that, now that I think about it, the wedding scene is even more useless when they could have just, with a small little rewrite, they could have just done that. But anyway, that's But I digress.
Yeah, we gotta stop talking about the wedding scene.
Yeah, I agree. I've said my piece, and my piece involving the wedding scene. Sorry, I'll stop talking about the wedding scene. Yes, I will. All right, you want me to stop talking about the wedding scene? I'll stop talking about the wedding scene. There you go.
Yeah.
Can I point out another positive?
Yeah.
I am aware that I believe Colleen O'Shaughnessy, she's Tails.
Yeah.
Yep. To me, this is a great example of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. When it comes to some things in voice acting, she's a professional voice actor. Like, you don't need to cast a celebrity every single time.
Oh, it's getting old, Hollywood. You don't need to cast freaking Tom Holland and Chris Pratt, Chris Evans. You don't need to cast the same 12 people in everything.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Damn you, Aladdin!
Like, it's getting old, and I think, like, look at Uncharted. That movie was still playing in my theater when Sonic was out. Do you think anybody was in that theater for Uncharted?
No. I didn't realize it was still out. I think it's left cinemas here. I mean, I didn't see any mention of it, but then again, I wasn't paying attention, so maybe it was like one session or something. Yeah. But even then, the film doesn't even interest me at all.
No, it didn't. I don't know. It's like, oh, it's Tom Holland again. Like, he's not right. Okay, we're not talking about Uncharted right now. Yeah, no, she was great. One of my cons does involve Tails, though, and I will talk about that in a minute here, but I will say, Ben Schwartz as Sonic, positive. He, to me, is, like, the best Sonic we've ever had since Jaleel White. And that, like, I think he's my favorite Sonic, and that is not an easy thing for me to say, but I think he is my favorite interpretation of Sonic. I think he just is Sonic to me.
Ooh, that's a big call. I mean...
Yeah, I realize that, that is a big thing for me to say, because, as somebody that is basically, listened to Ryan Drummond, put up with Griffith, and's been listening to Roger Craig Smith for the last 10 years, I would say that, yeah, he is my favorite. Ben Schwartz is my favorite Sonic.
Voice or
Voice? What do you mean?
oh, I just mean like you're talking about voice, right?
Yeah,
Nothing
voice.
else when you say that.
Yeah, voice.
Okay.
I mean, I've got no pony in this fight, so if that's the expression, I'm just I think he's fine.
Yeah,
I think he's fine.
that's completely okay.
It does remind me though too much of the recent DuckTales reboot. He does one of the nephews. It's basically the same voice, but it still works here, so I'm fine with it.
Prower, what's your opinion as the other Sonic fan in the room?
I mean, the whole thing is like I skipped like several voice actors because outside of Sonic Adventure, I don't really have an opinion on any of the voice acting. I mean, when I hear Roger Craig Smith, I think of regular show, which is stupid. But
yeah,
I mean, I really can't say. I kind of prefer Sonic Adventure Sonic voice a little
Ryan
bit,
Drummond.
but yeah, I prefer Ryan a little bit. He's my favorite, but that's because that's the one I've always heard the most. And that's kind of the one I associate with Sonic. But I will say, I don't think his voice would have fit movie Sonic if they did that. So
no, he definitely couldn't do a young Sonic. I don't think.
No.
Um,
So, I mean, my whole thing is I think Sonic in this movie sounded as he should. I'm not gonna say he sounds better than the other Sonic voice actors.
but did
you know,
you
but-
like him? Did you like him in the role?
Yeah, no, I think his voice fit perfectly.
Okay, well,
You know, I don't want them to use him for the games or anything, but I think his his voice fits perfectly for the circumstances, and that's where I'm like, I'm okay with it.
okay.
I don't really have a super strong opinion on it, in all honesty. I mean, I was just like, yeah, that sounds like Sonic.
All right, that's fine. Do we want to go into the cons now? Do we have any more pros we would like to mention, like, really quick?
Let me think. I like the Mean Bean touch because I actually do know of the game, the Mean Bean machine game.
Poyo.
I thought, you know what? That is a nice little nod. I mean, that's how you do a nod correctly. You know, it's like whether you know it or not, it doesn't matter. But I like how they used the Mean Bean and they had it as a coffee shop. I thought that was brilliant. I really thought it was great.
I felt this is going to transition really well into the con section because my biggest con was outside of that and the instruction manual bit at the very end of the movie. There weren't a lot of references to like the games. Like, I don't think there was a single part of Sonic 2's soundtrack in the entire movie, and I felt like that was pretty lame. The only time I can think of any game music being used in this movie was that short bit about, like, Tom's ringtone being Green Hill Zone.
Sorry.
Am I wrong? Did I miss anything?
No, you're right. But once again, I don't think they were trying to shoot at the game super directly. I think they were kind of saying, yeah, Two-Tailed Fox and Mr. Big Hands is going to satisfy us video game nerds enough. I don't think they were thinking, we need to include Emerald Hill Zone. Though that probably would have made my pants wetter than a water park.
Okay, well,
I still...
Thank you for that analogy. Okay.
Alright, man. I'm
Alright.
just being honest.
I'm
just saying,
I
like-
just think that you are right, but I do think that a couple more nods, like Mean Bean, would have been really great. I really think that they could.
Yeah,
have
no,
it.
I think Mean Bean was already clever enough.
Oh yeah, no, it absolutely was. I guess another con I had. I'm just gonna continue. My least favorite scene of the movie was not actually any of the beach scenes. My least favorite scene was them in the middle of the cold, like, mountains. They come across a lodge, and it's just a fully packed bar. And then the only thing that they do is it's a dance scene. And, you know, it, like, stops the movie. it's supposed to be the scene where Sonic and Tails kind of like bond a bit. I get that, but it goes on for a while. I don't think any of it was really funny, and it's just ridiculous to me that this place was packed, even though it's in the middle of, like, how would anybody get there? And I don't know, I just really didn't care for that scene at all. That was like the most bored I was during that entire movie.
Okay. It kills the pace a bit, I find, but I do like how Sonic and Tails bond, and I don't think it was just a waste. I mean, I don't know, that fish head saying "run," that was kind of stupid funny to me.
I just felt like it was just retreading the first movie because Sonic and Tom went to a bar in that movie, but it like made a lot more sense there.
Yeah,
What?
no, you're right.
Yeah, the pacing wise, yeah, it stops it. But unlike the wedding scene, which I'm sorry I pointed out, unlike the wedding scene, this sequence still served the purpose. Even if, yeah, could have been trimmed. They could have, instead of having a dance off, maybe done something else. I mean, the CGI was amazing. I thought the way that it was done was pretty good. But yeah, pacing wise, it could have been tightened up for sure.
Okay, yeah, another thing I do want to talk about, since we got his Tails there, these are transitions are working really well, good job guys, is Tails himself, because Tails was the teaser for this movie. Tails was in the very end of Sonic 1 as the credits scene there. And unfortunately, I don't think the producers in Hollywood or Sega themselves thought Tails would have been a big enough draw. So instead of just doing a movie with Tails coming in to like get Sonic out of warn him about Robotnik, sorry. We kind of got Knuckles too, so there's like a little bit of Sonic 2 in there and a little bit of Sonic 3, and I feel like Tails definitely got the shaft in the movie in favor for Knuckles.
Yeah. You're right. I would have liked to see Tails more, but I think to people who don't know Sonic, Knuckles seems more interesting.
I get that.
You know?
And I do. I just kind of wanted to mention that as a little bit of a thing. I wish there was more time to develop Sonic and Tails instead of the way we did it, because partway through the movie, Tails gets injured, and he's out of like a good portion of the rest of the movie until he suddenly wakes up just as Sonic leaves to go find Robotnik and Knuckles. And that I felt was pretty lame.
I mean, I just like cute Fox Boy. Like, I don't know. I wish he came back a little more than that. But you know.
No, I think you're right. They probably weren't confident in Tails, so they bring this big badass Knuckles, and I can see what you're saying with that. But I enjoyed it. I think maybe in the end they just wanted to have like a trio thing, like three of them up against the big robot. Maybe that's what they were going for. But
I don't think that it was completely out of left field, because this is another positive. I really liked the lore between the echidnas and the owls. I really like that touch. How they built on that. I really wish there was more, because that was the one thing about Sonic Movie 1, was that they built this interesting world, they gave us a new character in Longclaw, but all of a sudden, she was dead within the first 5 minutes, and that was it. That was really weird, and I really did like how they at least tried a little bit to build on that and give Knuckles like a reason to be hunting after Sonic even before Robotnik got involved. Like, I really did like that. Maybe it could have just been explained or delved into a little bit more. Like, I think that was a lot of fun, like, seeing that, and I thought it was a shame that, still, we barely know anything about Longclaw as, like, a character.
But I'll give him credit with Tails that they could have easily made Tails like the joke, like, oh, you're the less popular character or something. They could have, if they wanted to, and they could have easily gone in that direction. I mean, they gave a lot of the bumbling stuff to Knuckles, I suppose. But yeah, they could have just said, oh yeah, Sonic's more popular. Tails is the character no one really chooses when they play a game or something, or whatever they might think. I'm just going by
Oh.
theory here, by the way, guys.
Oh,
you know?
right. That reminds me, too, of another plot hole. Okay, so we all know that Sonic was a hyperactive kid. Are you telling me he never touched his map on that little emerald portion of the map, ever? In the entire time he's been by himself. You telling me that never happened?
Well, that's just like for the sake of the movie. I mean, that's just plot convenience.
I guess.
Yeah, that's kind of stupid, but what are you gonna do? Because I mean, you can tell off the first movie they weren't exactly banking on a sequel right when they were writing that. So, I mean, that's kind of like how at Madagascar 2, Alex all of a sudden has a freaking birthmark on his hand that relates him back to his dad. Like, that makes no fucking sense. Why didn't they put that on his foot? So, I mean, you can say the same thing about Sonic. Why didn't they put that on the back of the map or some dumb shit like that? It's just plot convenience. I mean, I don't think they're thinking anyone's gonna think too hard about it.
Yeah, that is true.
And another, I mean, speaking of plot convenience, I mean, it's the same thing as, okay, Sonic has, in certain scenes, is so fast, so ultra fast, he could, you know, jump on missiles and that sort of stuff, and yet other times, it's like he has no speed at all, and it's like it seems to be that he's only ultra quick when the ride is actually wanting to be. But, you know, you go with it. You just like, yeah, whatever. And that's the trouble with writing characters when they're ultra fast. You keep forgetting things like that. That's just me.
I don't mean to be like the actually guy, but didn't they delve into that in movie 1 where they explain that Sonic has like he can freeze time for a bit, but it takes a lot out of him? I thought that was a plot point because that comes up in the bar sequence in that film.
But it doesn't take a lot out of him. That's the whole problem.
Oh, okay.
There's scenes that, yeah, it's one of those things where he seems okay. It's like, okay, what if he's being chased after Knuckles like in the snowboarding, you know, down the mountain? It's like, well, why doesn't he just go faster like he could when bouncing on all those missiles? Like, it's one of those. Like, again, it can only go ultra fast when the rider's wanting to, but. Yeah. Look, is it a bad thing here? I can live with it. But writing fast characters is tough. That's why I felt sorry for the guys doing the upcoming movie, The Flash. Like, come on, it's not easy.
No, it's definitely not. Okay. So I think we've talked about like our major negatives, and I think now we're kind of getting into the more nitpicky stuff. Before I kind of like wrap up and we talk about the post-credits scene, I do quickly want to mention that a couple cons around the movie instead of necessarily being in the movie. For one thing, I find it really weird that the film got released on April 1st in parts of the world, but then other parts of the world it wasn't out until the 7th. But then it wasn't even really the 7th, it was like the day before in some places, and then it was like the day before that in other places. Like, they were all over the place at the release date for this movie, and that kind of is lame, especially after Sonic 2's Legacy. Again, I know this is nerdy, but Sonic 2 in 1992, the game, was like this big deal because it had like a universal release date where it came out everywhere the same day. That was a big thing because no other game did that before. And I find it kind of lame that, you know, movies, which normally do come out the same day everywhere in theaters, didn't happen, and it seems to be for arbitrary reasons, and they were never happy with the release date, so they just kind of like threw it out in different parts of the world wherever they wanted to.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I just find it weird. I know when it was released here, it was weirdly released a week before school holidays start. Usually with these sort of movies get released on the week of school holidays, which only started a few days ago for us, but it's been out in the cinema for at least a week, so I thought that was very odd. The DreamWorks film, The Bad Guys, just got released in time for school holidays, so that's about right. Yeah, Sonic got released a week earlier. I don't know why. But,
they were scared of Morbius. I'm just kidding.
Which not to go off track here, I will say this: I watched Morbius, and all I can say is don't. It's bad. And you know, I may be a Marvel. Well, I'm not really a fanboy, but I may enjoy Marvel films. But boy, oh boy, First half is decent. The second half is it screams studio interference. But anyway, enough about that. I just want to throw
Well,
it in
it's
there.
just funny because Sonic Movie 1 went up against the Harley Quinn film Birds of Prey and completely destroyed that in terms of box office. And then
As it should, because that film was meh as well.
And then Sonic Movie 2 went up against Morbius, and the winner is clear.
Yes.
So it's like, what mediocre superhero film is movie 3 gonna go up against and just completely destroy too? Like, it's kind of become a tradition.
Yes. But I haven't seen both films that Sonic was up against. Well, yes, those two Sonic films were definitely better than those respective films. Yeah. You know, I mean, Birds of Prey was a little better than Morbius, you know, for comparing those two. But even then, it's like forgettable things like, seen it, don't need to see it again. Like, whatever.
Yeah, I guess if I was to give like my final thoughts on the movie, though, I would say that it's very like to me, as a fan of the Godzilla movies, the recent ones from Legendary Pictures, the ones that are being released in theaters here. So Godzilla 2014, King of the Monsters, Kong Skull Island, and then Godzilla vs. Kong. I'm in a similar boat with those, where they are not perfect movies, like any of them, but they were a lot of fun as fans of the character. As a fan of the character. And I really do hope that they continue on for a little bit. That's kind of where I am with my 8 out of 10 score, is that, are you going to have more fun with it as a Sonic fan? Well, absolutely. But I think anybody could reasonably enjoy this movie.
Yeah, I did. So, yeah.
But yeah, I really didn't like... This is a little nitpick of mine. This is not involving the film. And I did want to mention this before we kind of talk about the post-credit scene and wrap up. Is that there was a couple YouTubers, I'm not going to name names because they want attention. That's the problem. We're not naming names because it's only helping them. Where one of them posted a video, like, I think the day after the release date there. So it was like April 2nd, April 3rd or something. And they titled the video, Sonic 2 was disappointing. Now, it doesn't take a genius to realize that the reason he called the video that was to get attention and bring in the algorithms, the YouTube algorithm rewards controversy. It totally does. And then they got upset when their video was criticized, even though he says in the video that he liked the movie but had some problems with it. That's not what disappointing means. And there was another case more recently, I think it was trending on Twitter the day we were recording this actually, that he just didn't like the film because of the human element. And you know what? I totally understand that. But when you're trying to, like, basically come up with a bunch of arguments for why something just, in the end of the day, isn't for you, such as, in this case, Knuckles having weird poofy gloves, which makes no sense because, again, Knuckles has always had those gloves. Like, I think his character design had the least changes when it came to going from game to movie. I really think that. And it's just like, you guys are doing this to get the controversy views, but then you're not happy when people call you out on it. That's my whole opinion on that.
Yeah, I mean, you could have, if you're going to do that kind of thing, you could just say, I don't know, if you want to be clickbait, you could say, I like Sonic 2, but, ... You know, okay.
Yeah. That
sure.
is good. That is good.
Yeah.
And these guys are big YouTubers. People care already about their opinions, so they don't have to do the whole controversy click. They could just do my thoughts on the Sonic 2 movie. That would have worked just fine. But they're hoping to get the algorithm trending in their favor. That's the whole thing. And then they're not happy when they actually get some criticism on their hands for it. That's my whole problem.
That's fair enough.
It's just become a whole thing. So I think that we're going to talk about the post-credit scene. So again, if you have not seen the movie and you listen to all that for some reason, your final warning, I'm gonna say it. They reveal the government after Sonic defeats Robotnik with Supersonic, which I love the fact that Supersonic was in this movie. I just want to say that. They reveal that even if Robotnik isn't alive, maybe Agent Stone escapes alive, and they reveal that the government have found Shadow. They found Shadow in a test tube.
See, I didn't even know who I didn't even know who Shadow is. To be honest.
No, and you know what? All right, so I know in my personal theater, a lot of people were excited to see Shadow, and I personally am very scared of the future of the Sonic movie franchise because of Shadow. And the whole reason for that, and I know Prower is going to disagree here, and that's completely okay, but they're kind of jumping the gun here. And the problem with Shadow is that Shadow has never been... He was a really well-written character in 2001. He had his journey as a character. He sacrificed his life at the end of the game. That was supposed to be it for him. But then he became a popular character, so they kept bringing him back, but he's always been kind of watered down ever since. And Sega have recently been doing this thing where they mandate like all these restrictions on Shadow, basically preventing him from becoming a real character. Again, basically. And for them to want to go with the whole government secret project storyline, that like really scares me, when there was a lot of potential for something beyond Shadow. Like, a lot of people, myself included, were really hoping for Metal Sonic. Because Metal Sonic would have gotten the same kind of reaction Shadow would have, where it could have been the Doctor's like final creation, because we don't know yet if Jim Carrey's coming back for a third one. He has said that he has considering retiring from filmmaking, and he'll only really do Sonic 3 if the script is really good. So I feel like the reason they wrote Shadow is so that they can write themselves out of the hole. Because now, with Shadow, they can easily write in Gerald Robotnik, who, in the game, Anthony, I know you don't know this, Gerald Robotnik was Eggman's grandfather. So now they can basically say, oh, well, here's this other Robotnik, but we can just call him Dr. Eggman and everything's fine because we can't get Jim Carrey again.
Yeah,
that,
for sure.
Like, they could have done Metal Sonic, and I mean, I won't lie, as a person whose favorite game is Sonic CD, I am pretty biased in that opinion. But I'm actually shocked, because I thought I would be in the minority of Sonic fans that were disappointed when they saw Shadow, but there's actually been quite a few people that I've talked to that are not happy that Shadow is the chosen character. And a lot of people seem to be sharing the same opinion as me, that Shadow is kind of jumping the gun. He is kind of just the pandering choice, and it really concerns me for a potential movie 3. Well, we know it's going to be a movie 3. The movie is, like, breaking records right now. So there is going to be a movie 3. But it's concerning to me because because the director himself, Jeff Fowler, he said that he's not sure if he's coming back for a movie 3. We don't know if Jim Carrey is going to be in it. And we just know that Shadow, who has not been a well-written character, again, since 2001, is going to be the starring focus of this film. And I worry that it's going to retread a lot of what movie 2 did with Knuckles. So it's all very concerning to me as a Sonic fan. Especially since Sega have never been the companies that succeed and that continue succeeding. They always usually screw up somewhere.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Yeah, no, you're entirely right. I mean, still, I think Metal Sonic can just be anywhere, though. I like how Shadow's here, and I feel like Shadow is because if you look at the Sonic franchise as a whole, what Sonic character is the general person gonna know outside of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles? The first thing that goes to their mind. It's not gonna be Amy. It's not gonna be Metal Sonic. It's gonna be Shadow. So you need to remember we're Sonic nerdos, right? So to us, obviously
Okay.
we're gonna be like Perfect Chaos or some shit like that. But the whole thing is like that's not gonna happen. If movie franchise is completely different. So
I hope
that's
you're
my
right.
wrestling thoughts on that. I'm excited for Shadow. I'd rather Shadow than Metal Sonic. So those are my
I-
wrestling thoughts on that. I don't really have a lot more to input.
I hope that they prove me wrong about Shadow and then they can do it again, but it's just concerning to me that I know what they've done with Shadow since 2001 and it's never been amazing. But Anthony, this is actually a very interesting question for you. You didn't know who Shadow was before the movie, right? That's true. If you would have been the only guy in the world that Sega decided to ask, what Sonic character should we bring into movie 3? Like, what character should we tease for movie 3? Who would it have been?
Easy. I don't know the name, but the girl character. And why? Because of my daughter. And for her, it's like, I want her to be able to see something on screen.
So by girl character, you mean Amy, right?
I think so. I mean, because I've seen on one of the later Sonic games, I've seen a girl character in there.
So
I'm not talking about the princess character in Sonic 06 here. I don't know about that.
No.
Don't worry.
Nobody's talking about that. What the fuck?
The pink hedgehog with the hammer, right?
Yeah, her.
Amy, yeah.
And I think, and I was surprised they didn't do that because it's all about, and I'm actually for this, to diversify things, to make things, more broader. I'm surprised they didn't introduce a girl character or in it, but that's who I would pick.
No, that is actually a good point. Yeah, they should have picked. That could have been a good choice. Yeah.
So you can get more, you can get more girls to sort of look up and say, hey, as long as they don't introduce her and then do poor writing where they always have, I guess the man saved the day kind of, that kind of trope, make her a strong character, but
yeah.
No, that's what I would have done. I would have, and then I would have saved Shadow because I found out after I watched that, he apparently is a big deal in a sense.
He absolutely is. Like, it's just that it feels really pandering to choose him, but that's...
Why not make it a surprise for the first teaser trailer, or heck, don't reveal it at all, and do what Marvel does and just make.
I was hoping for Amy too. Metal Sonic and Amy could have made my day because again, Sonic CD is my favorite game of all time. I know. Prower is gonna say, "Oh, but who really who of the general Sonic base knows about Sonic CD?" He's completely right about that. But it would have been awesome seeing Amy and Metal Sonic in a movie together, and Metal Sonic being the main antagonist for Sonic to deal with.
But here's another thing to bring up, though. The more of these characters they introduce, something's got to give. Because then you're going to have too many characters in the film, and then you're going to be juggling too many things in the film. So I would say next film, cut out the human characters should be more or less out in some way. And just focus on Sonic elements and go from there.
That's always been a problem with Sonic, Sonic games too, is that they feel the need to constantly introduce a new character. And that is a common problem, and I do worry about the future of these films, because if they do tease the Sonic movie 4 at the end of 3, they probably will try to tease another character, and that it's gonna get to be too much, and I totally agree with that. But it is a common Sonic issue, is that they do bring in too many of these characters. And I will just say this, because with Shadow and it being a government thing, it does lead to Sonic Movie 3 kind of being an adaptation of Sonic Adventure 2. If they make a live action Rouge the Bat,
Nice.
we're gonna have to stay away from the internet for at least a couple months, because It's gonna be
Yeah.
it's gonna be Madhouse.
Nah, man. This is what I'm banking on.
Yeah, if you wanted my answer, which character? Yeah, it'd be Amy.
Yeah,
just-
the wholesome Sonic female character.
No, I think it could work, but
Yeah. All right.
well, what do I know?
No, I
What
think
do I know?
How long have we been doing this?
The only thing I didn't cover, I mentioned earlier on. I'll be very quick with this. Is Idris Elba as Knuckles? You guys seem to love him. Me, I had some issues. See, I loved Idris Elba in Zootopia. He played the police chief, and his voice delivery there was fantastic. But here's something felt that little bit off. I don't know why. I can't put my finger on it. Was it bad? No. But I don't know. I felt as though his delivery was way better when he was in Zootopia. Granted, yes, he's playing a different character there. I get it, but I don't know. There was something a little off about it. But
That's okay. Personally, I loved Elba as Knuckles. I think he did a great job. But, you know, we're all entitled to our own opinions, and I would really like to hear in the comments section, for those of you who made it all the way to the end of the video for this, what you guys all thought about the Sonic movie 2. I think that our opinions are the general consensus of everybody is that the film was great, best video game movie yet. Mario movie hasn't got a chance. Like, it's being made by Illumination, and Chris Pratt is Mario. Like, there's no way.
oh boy.
We'll be doing a video about the Mario movie when that comes out, because I'm sure I'm kind of gonna talk about that. But for right now, here is your, well, I felt like obligated to do this Sonic Movie 2 video. I thought it was great. I think that the general consensus of everybody is that the film was pretty good if you're not a Sonic fan, but really good if you are a Sonic fan. I think 8 out of 10 kind of shows, and it's by far the best video game movie of all time so far.
Yep.
It's up.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, it's definitely up there. I couldn't tell you what my favorite video game movie is, but Sonic and Sonic 2 would definitely be around the top for sure. You know.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for this video. And we'll thank you all for watching. You know, if you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, all that. And thank you guys. Thank you so much, Anthony and Prower, for joining me for this.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
Alright, so, yeah, have a good one, guys. Peace out.
Good night.